Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be about the severe weather that is going to be occurring across the plains and some of the other threats like flooding, severe weather, like I mentioned, flooding, severe weather, hot temperatures that are going to be occurring, especially across the southern parts of the United States. And let's just jump right into it. But before this video starts, I'd like to ask you guys two things. Please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. All you gotta do is hit that red subscribe button and you're subscribed. And please consider hitting that like button. All you gotta do is hit that like button and and that just helps my video get out to more people. So if you think more people should be able to watch this and like that YouTube video, and your part will be done. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Now let's move on. So you can see generally calm for the past several weeks, almost. It's been really calm across sorry if you hear any meowing. That's my cat. He's trying to get upstairs. Someone needs to let him up there, but sorry about that if you hear like constant meowing. But so it's been generally quiet, but this storm will definitely change things up in a big way. Not necessarily that it'll be powerful. You could see 994, 1002. That's nothing too strong. We've seen more powerful storms. However, it's just, it doesn't take a big storm to produce severe weather. That's the bottom line right here that I want to stress. Just because this is not show much impressive pressure, this does not mean that it could produce flooding, heavy rain, severe thunderstorms, and hot temperatures. So you can see that's the first wave shift up, passes through Minnesota and Iowa, mainly missing most of the southeastern part of the United States, or anywhere south and east from, say, Kansas, northwestern Missouri, northeastern Iowa, and northwards. That's going to be the line where I'm tracking it right here. You could see, and anywhere across that, Tuesday is the main threat for that. You can see there's another wave Wednesday, but then Thursday it starts shifting west, and you can see some heavy rain along with some thunderstorms. This does look to be more of a cluster-like thunderstorm event rather than an individual singled out isolated cell, because those cells tend to be more severe and be more powerful as a single storm. However, this isn't going to be a enormous outbreak in terms of historic numbers. This is just going to be the biggest one of the year so far. But as the season goes on, I'm confident that there will be stronger ones that I'll need to be tracking. But even though it's not the strongest one that ever happened, or it won't be considered a big one, as of now, just looks to be a regular severe weather outbreak. It's still the biggest one of the year, and you still need to take your precautions, and you still need to just take warnings of the National Weather Service if they issue a severe thunderstorm warning or watch. Be prepared, especially if it's a warning, because if it's a warning, then you really need to take shelters fast. And it doesn't need to be necessarily a tornado. It could be large hail that could hit you, and that could be very bad. You'll have more issues than the National Geographic. So you can see that this passes through, and then it quiets down, which is a good, because then I'll be able to take a break. But you can see there's been talk about a hurricane or a tropical storm developing across the east, which I don't think will happen, but we'll need to see, guys. It's really close to hurricane season, and the temperatures are going to be above average, so anything is possible. But we'll just focus on a severe aspect of the United States right now. You can see later on some more severe weather spawns up, but that is just so far out we can't really predict that. Okay, and sorry, there's my cat finally got let upstairs. And now let's go to, I would like to show you the NAM 12KM. So the NAM 12KM is a family of the NAMs, and there's 3 of them on this website: NAM 3KM, NAM 32KM, and NAM 12KM. I'll show you guys the NAM 12KM on this website, and then I'll show you the NAM 3KM on this website. But first, let's go through the NAM 12KM. So you can see this is the freshest model run. I'll probably need to switch to the older one once we get to 60 hours because it doesn't go past that. So there you can see there's the first wave going through South Dakota, Nebraska, Minnesota, and North Dakota. That passes through. You can see nothing much. There is several hinting, this NAM, that there's going to be several isolated thunderstorm events, or I don't know, just storms. And those are the ones you will need to watch because they could tend to rotate, and any storm that is rotating can spin out a little tiny twister, or why am I saying tiny? It could spin out any size of a twister, depending on the size of the supercell. And you can see later on, a cluster develops in northern Wisconsin, southeastern Minnesota looks to be impacted. So get ready for Wednesday, guys. If you live in a Wisconsin, even northern Michigan area, there could be a severe thunderstorm cluster that could be passing through some heavy rain. Then it quiets down for the actual you can see that most of the severe weather will happen during the evening and night. Unlike most severe weather events where the daytime heating helps us out, this is going to be occurring most during the night. So you can see this is late evening Wednesday night, and it's really calm. You can see most of the day is calm, and then it just blows up. You can see severe thunderstorms just I can't find a word for it, just spawn out of nowhere, and actually not out of nowhere pretty much. And now I'll switch back to the old one since that's as far as it goes. You can see very similar track. You can see now this one is shifting further south. The second thunderstorm cluster, southeastern Wisconsin, southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois, northeastern, northwestern Illinois. And then the third thunderstorm cluster, you can see this one's much bigger, comes through. And then the fourth and the fifth, and this is just to get the point of this, that this will more likely be a widespread event than some severe thunderstorm systems, because due to the fact that it will be meso clusters of storms, and this will mean that there's just a bunch of individual storms combined in a huge blob, if you will, and these storms move at a similar pace, at a similar rate, and they're about as strong as the rest are. They're about equal strength, and you can see if they're like followed one after another over a certain area, that could lead to significant flooding, significant flash flooding. This is just dangerous, and not even to talk about the hail or the large tornadoes or even the wind, just sheer flooding. You could see that this thankfully won't be stalled out, and you can see the first system passes over Wisconsin and Michigan. Then the second little system passes a little bit further south. The third one even further south, and the fourth one a little bit over the same area. So the greatest, I think, amount of rain will fall in about this quarter. So anywhere from central Michigan to northern Missouri to southern Iowa. In this area, I guess you just want to call it, I don't really know what this region is called, the center of the Midwest, if you will, what I'm highlighting right here, where pretty much the two storm clusters will overlap. You can see that's cluster and that's a cluster. So where those two systems will overlap, that is where most of the heavy rainfall will fall. And now let's go into the NAM 3KM. So the NAM 3KM is even more description-filled model that shows you even more detailed showing of what the models will think. And I don't know if this is correct, to be honest with you guys, because what they have right here, I don't think is going to occur. And this is supposedly saying it's going to occur in the next couple of hours. I think it's going to be more something like this, where it's more broken up, and there's a couple of isolated storms in Texas and Oklahoma, and there's a line further up north. So you can see this is pretty significant, but it dies down later on pretty quickly. The thing is with this, there won't be any derechos. These systems are very fast to form and very fast to fall apart. So they appear out of nowhere and then disappear. So during the day, you can see it's calm. And in case you're wondering for the date in an hour, it's right here. 00Z, I think that's -5 hours, and you'll have the time. So if this is 12 o'clock at night, this will be somewhere around, I think, 7 o'clock in the evening. You can see pretty calm, but then another little system develops right here, a little cluster, and you can see strengthens into quite a feature. And this one seems to be more longer lived. Even you could see developing a squall line right there. So like I mentioned, northern Michigan, just because you're so far north does not mean that you're out of the severe weather threat. There could still be damaging winds with this and some isolated thunderstorms towards the end of this, like the tail of it. And that passes through and weakens significantly into just a big rain slug of moisture. But then you can see the third day, this is where things get serious. And this is as far out as it goes, but just look at these cells. That is a single cell, that is a couple of cells, that is a major squall line, and there's a bunch of singular cells right here. And those storm cells are the ones that produce tornadoes, damaging wind, horrendous winds, large hail, I think I said that, and they're just going to be destroyers. There could even be some microbursts involved, which is basically a storm that has supercharged winds and could really down trees, power lines, even to cause damage to large buildings like houses and like several story buildings. So this, I think the most dangerous day will be Thursday. I will be making another video probably on Wednesday or Tuesday, even though I'm recording this video right now on Monday. I will upload it on Tuesday, and then I will probably make a video on Tuesday and upload it on Wednesday. So overall, this is a serious situation. Please, guys, take precautions. This could end up being the severe weather outbreak that is largest in some time. I don't think the largest one since this was probably somewhere in the fall time when we still had the warm around. But now I will just want to quickly show you the temperatures, how warm they are, and this is basically what's causing the fuel for these thunderstorms. So I'll show you the NAM, what they have to say, and I'll show you the GFS. You can see cools off during the 50s to the 50s during the night for most of the areas, but then during the day you could see 70s, 80s for much of the southeastern part of the United States, if you will, anywhere from southeastern Minnesota, Nebraska, into northwestern parts of Kansas. South of there, that's pretty much where the warm temperature will be. But you can see this front is kind of moving further south day by day, and that's pretty much a cold front, and that's why the storms are shifting further to the south, due to the fact that this front is pushing them to the south. I mean, just look at this. The green will push down every day a little bit. Just watch. Okay, it goes back up, and then it's in Chicago already, and that's what pushes the storm threat even further south. Now let's go to the GFS to show you a more long-range outlook of the temperatures. You can see even though that front passes through, the temperatures still warm up to a decent rate, and it does look like if summer is definitely here. I mean, look, this day, Tuesday, May 8th, looks to be a nationwide warm day, other than the mountains, but that's still probably above average for them. You could see that the temperatures, they just escalate, and we've been really seeing the temperatures just warming up in front of our eyes. So say a couple days ago, May 14th, it was showing 60s and 50s. Now it's showing 70s and 80s and 90s. So this is definitely above average temperatures. So it basically went from a below average April to a super awesome above average summer, and that's the person I am. I really like below average winters, cold winters, but when it comes to summers, I just like them hot, humid, and maybe not humid, but hot and warm, and with sunny weather, but also mixed in with some severe weather, because I do enjoy that once in a while. But enjoy that in like personal experience, but not too severe, but just a regular old thunderstorm. So you can see that much of the country will just be above average. The blues only come in once in a while. And just stay safe out there, guys. Please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. This will be it for today. So if you want to take away something from this video, it's the temperatures are going to be above average for much of the nation, excluding some portions of the west towards the end of the forecasting period, which is 384 hours, but otherwise, severe weather is on its way for this week. Stay safe, stay cool, because I know some areas in Texas will be breaking the 100 degree mark, so stay safe, and as always, see you guys on the next episode.